Once upon a time, there was an old woman named Hazel. More than anything, she loved to eat an apple dumpling for dinner. One day, Hazel said,
"I will bake an apple dumpling tonight. I have plenty of flour. I have plenty of butter. I have plenty of sugar. And I have plenty of spice. Why, I could make 10 apple dumplings if I wanted to." "Oh dear," she said, "I have no apple."
In her backyard, there was a tree full of plums. You never saw more plums as round than the plums on that tree. But you cannot make an apple dumpling with plums, and there is no use trying. Hazel could not stop thinking about her apple dumpling. At last, she had an idea. She took her basket out to her backyard and filled it with plums. She covered the basket with a white cloth and hung it on her arm. She said,
"There may be those in the world who have apples and who need plums."
And so Hazel went out the door. Before long, Hazel came to a yard with many hens and many geese. What a noise they made! Caw-caw, quack, quack! In the middle of all these birds, there was a young woman. She was feeding them corn, and she waved to Hazel. Hazel waved back to her. The young woman told Hazel about her hens and geese. Hazel told the young woman about her plums and how she hoped to trade them for apples. If only she could trade her plums for apples, she might have an apple dumpling that night.
"Ah," said the young woman when she heard this, "those are lovely plums in your basket, and there is nothing my family likes better with goose than plum jelly. But I have no apples to trade for your plums. The best I can give to trade with you is a bag of feathers. Will you take my feathers for your plums?"
Well, it is not apples, thought Hazel. But why not? One person happy is better than two who do not have what they want. The old woman poured the plums into the young woman's apron. She took the bag of feathers, put it in her basket, and went on her way. Hazel said,
"Maybe I am no closer to an apple dumpling than I was before, but at least I'm no farther away. And feathers are easier to carry than plums, that's for sure."
Trudge, trudge, up a hill and down, past a farm, past a brook. Then such a lovely smell filled the air. "Ah," Hazel said as she came up to a garden gate. Roses, lilies, lilacs. Never before had she seen such a garden gate. From the garden inside, Agnes heard the sounds of a man and a woman talking loudly, and they were not happy.
"Cotton,"
said the woman.
"Straw,"
said the man. So they went back and forth. Then the two of them saw Hazel at the gate.
"Here is someone who can help us decide," said the woman.
She opened the gate. "Good mother," she said.
"If you were making a cushion for your grandfather's armchair, would you not stuff it with cotton?"
"Cotton? I do not think I would."
"I told you so. Straw is the very thing, and you need to go no farther than the barn for it."
"Nor would I stuff the cushion with straw. I have something better here. A cushion stuffed with feathers is fit for a king."
"Feathers."
"What a fine cushion we can make with these."
They were very happy and asked what they could give the old woman in return.
"If you must know, apples would be just the thing. That is what I am looking for."
"Ah, we have no apples, at least. Let us give you something for the feathers."
The man and woman cut one flower here and another there. Soon there were more lovely flowers than their arms could hold. Never was there a sweeter bunch of flowers. They handed the armful of flowers to Hazel. "A good bargain," said Hazel. "And not all of it in the basket." For she was glad that the two young people were now happy with each other. She wished them both well and went on her way. Soon Hazel came upon a young lord, dressed in very fine clothes and with a gold chain around his neck, but such a frown on his face. He looked as if he had no friend left in the whole wide world.
"Fair day, good road. Maybe for you, but for me, the court jeweler did not finish the ring I gave him to make. Now I must go to my lady love with nothing in my hands to give her."
"Is that what is the matter? Then you shall have a gift for your lady."
Hazel handed the flowers from her basket to the young lord. Though she may never have an apple dumpling, the flowers made the lord so glad that he smiled from ear to ear. The young lord said, "A fair trade is no robbery." He took the gold chain from around his neck and put it around Hazel's neck. The young lord skipped away, holding the flowers to his chest.
"With this gold chain, I can buy all the apples in the king's market and have coins left to spare."
Hazel had gone no more than the turn of the road when she came upon a mother and her children standing in a doorway. Their faces were as sad as her own was happy.
"What is the matter?"
"Matter enough when the last crust of bread is eaten and not a coin left in the house to buy more."
"What a day!" cried Hazel.
I cannot think of eating an apple dumpling for supper while those near me have no bread.
She put the gold chain into the mother's hands and rushed off.
But here's a little dog. His barking will keep loneliness from your house, and our thanks goes with it.
Hazel had not gone a half-dozen yards when, right before her eyes, she saw an apple tree as full of apples as her very own plum tree was full of plums. This apple tree grew in front of a house as much like her own as if they were two peas in the same pod. And on the porch of the house sat a little old man.
Aye, but apple trees and apples are poor company when a man is growing old. I would give them all if I had even so much as a little dog to bark on my doorstep.
"Bow wow," barked the dog in the old woman's basket. And in less time than it takes to read the end of this story, the little dog was barking on the old man's doorstep. And Hazel was on her way home with a basket full of apples.
If you try long enough and hard enough, you can always have an apple dumpling for supper.
That night she baked herself a delicious apple dumpling and ate it down to the very last crumb.